Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yemini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of the Refuah Shlema, the complete and speedy recovery of HaRav Amitai ben Shoshanna, Leah Mintche bas Gittel, and Shaul ben Berta. This week's Parsha Perspective is in loving memory of Edward ben Ephraim, Shlema ben Edward, and Yerachmid Daniel ben Gedalia. May their souls be uplifted, may their memories be a blessing. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Lech Lecha, Secret of Our Existence. Our Parsha introduces us to the father of the Jewish nation, Avraham Avinu. He is given a commandment to leave his birthplace and hometown and go on an unknown journey led by God. Avraham quickly got his camp in order and began this unique voyage without delay. Soon he arrived in Canaan, accompanied by his wife Sarah and his nephew Lot. He is told by God that his descendants will inhabit the very land he is standing on. As he was exploring the land of Canaan, a famine forced him to travel down to Egypt to buy food. Fearing that the Egyptians would kill him and take his wife Sarah because of her immense beauty, Avram told her to allege that he was just her brother. So when they arrived at the border, Sarah was taken and brought before Parai. But in retaliation, God struck Parai's palace with a plague, causing Parai to realize that he was deceived and released Sarah very quickly. He gave Avram and Sarah many gifts and had them escorted out of his land. The Parsha concludes with a fundamental commandment, the mitzvah of the bris milah. God appeared to the aging Avram at 99 years old and told him to circumcise himself and establish an everlasting bond between them. Accordingly, the blessing made by each father at a circumcision at a bris milah today, lahachnisa bebrisai shel Avraham Avinu, to enter this little baby boy into the covenant of our forefather Avraham Avinu. However, a question comes to mind. At the end of last week's Torah portion, we read how Avraham's father Terach took the young Avram on a journey of his own. Terach and his family went from Avram's birthplace, Ur Kasdim, to the city of Haran, and yet we emphasize the journey at the beginning of our Torah portion. What was so consequential and different about Avram's journey at the beginning of our Parsha? Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory gives a very profound explanation in his book Covenant and Conversation. He writes that there is a monumental and significant difference between these two journeys. The first one had a fixed objective with a predetermined destination, from the city of Ur Kasdim to the land of Canaan, while Avraham's journey had no specific goal other than fulfilling God's commandment. He was told, Lech Lecha me'artzecha mi'moladeticha mi'beis avicha, leave your land, your birthplace, your father's home, to a land that I will show you. Rabbi Sachs explains that the Torah introduces us to Avram Avinu, Avram, our forefather, just as he embarks on a journey with no clear destination, with no clear direction other than God, because that is the Jewish story. We have wandered, we have traveled with no clear destination other than the land that God has promised Avraham we would live in. From our inception until this very day, the Jewish nation has used the original version of GPS. And this was to guide and steer us in the right direction, and that is God's positioning system. Avraham's eagerness to secede and to break away from conventional wisdom set the stage for our unprecedented and remarkable survival. As Mark Twain puts it, what is the secret of the Jewish survival? If the numbers are correct, the Jews constitute but 1/4% of the human race. Properly, the Jew should be hardly heard of, but he is heard of. He has always been heard of. All things are mortal but the Jews. What is the secret to his immortality? The answer to Mark Twain's question is no enigma. From our inception, Jews willingly and deliberately went against conventional thinking at God's direction. We have internalized the notion that there's so much more than the vanity of this world. But most importantly, we have adapted our life for God's wisdom, an endless and eternal sense of a greater purpose. The reason that Avraham's journey was so significant, Rabbi Sachs writes, is because he began a domino effect that is still in motion till this very day. Ironically, the journey with his father that had set objectives failed to reach its destination. Avraham's father wanted to travel from the city of Ur Kasdim to the land of Canaan, but only got to the city of Haran out of the land of Canaan. But Avram's journey, with no predetermined destination, with no clear direction, took him to the land that we live in today. And although the path may seem puzzling to most, it was obvious to Avram Avinu. Follow God's words and seek His grace and holiness in this very physical world. Watch for opportunities to sanctify His holy name and proclaim His oneness to all. In our daily life, it is imperative to understand that true success and long-term success stems from the ability to be in and out of the box simultaneously, to know when it is essential to follow conventional thinking and wisdom, but when to break away and succeed beyond wild expectations, when to use the physicality of this world, but how to recognize its shortcomings and weakness in relation to the holiness of your soul. There is a powerful quote by Rabbi Lord Sachs. Jewish time sees us as travelers on a road to a destination not yet reached, wayfarers on a journey begun by our ancestors and to be continued by our children. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.